Dave Anderson here with the Fisherman magazine. It's December 28th. These are your headlines. First and foremost, Happy New Year from us at the Fisherman to all of our viewers and all of our readers. We appreciate you guys and wish you nothing but the best in 2024. Moving on to the fishing, we're still hearing about striped bass along the Rhode Island beaches, if you can believe it. Fish up to 39 inches reported this week. And good trout fishing across the region, especially at Wachusett Reservoir. Stay tuned for all that and more on this week's New England Fishing Forecast.
The Fishing News is sponsored by these fine partners.
Before we begin, we've got a couple news items to share with you guys, and the first one is the latest installment of Jenny Ackerman's Open Boat Series. Take it away, Jenny.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Open Boat. I just wanted to take time to thank all of the Fisherman magazine viewers for welcoming the Open Boat Series into their weekly video fishing forecast viewing experience. Whether you saw me in the New England, in Long Island, or the New Jersey editions, I hope you learned a lot from my Open Boat videos. Reflecting back, I think we did about 25 videos. Each one was a ton of fun, and my goal was to show you guys a great fishing experience and for you to learn something new. So hopefully you guys had fun watching and you learned a lot from each episode. I know I had an awesome time filming each and every one of those Open Boat episodes, and I cannot wait for what's to come in the new year. And I hope you guys are excited to keep watching the Open Boat series going into the new year and to see what's in store, because I have some really good ones lined up. And thank you once again, everyone. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of this holiday season, and I'll see you in the new year.
With show season now upon us, I want to remind you guys that there are incentives for signing up for the Fisherman magazine at the shows. It's $29.95 for a subscription, and you're going to get an iPop popper from Tsunami, which is a great little popper. It's got nice Saltex hooks on there, a dressed tail, low frequency rattle, and for a small popper, it casts like crazy, and they float and throw a big pop when you pop them. I've done very well on those over this fall, and looking forward to trying them in the springtime as well. You guys should be also. And all paid subscribers, whether you sign up at the show or online, are going to get a $20 gift card to Surehold. Surehold is the industry leader in cleaning products. They do everything from auto and marine to all of your home needs. They have polishing equipment. They have all different kinds of cleaning products. Definitely a worthy little gift card there. And when you add those two things up, it already eclipses the cost of the subscription. So I mean, that's like a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So I hope to see you guys at the shows. The ones that are coming up are the Narragansett Surfcasters show over in Narragansett, and then we'll be at the Hartford Boat Show, which is actually at Mohegan Sun the following weekend. So we'll hope to see you guys there, and we'll be giving away lots of stuff. Last thing, of course, is the giveaway, which is ongoing, and we got a few photos this week, not too many, which is to be expected with the holiday season kind of in full swing here. But if you guys don't know the drill, it's pretty simple. It's got to be a photo of you holding your fish, and it's got to be a recently caught fish. And you can email it to me at danderson@thefisherman.com, or you can text it to the number on the screen. Just make sure you tell me it's for the contest, and that give me the pertinent details, like the weight of the fish, where it was caught, your name, stuff like that. Those are some of the most important things to get. You can send them over to me, and this is going to wrap up on January 24th. We're going to give away this prize package right here, and on January 24th we'll pick a winner, and then we'll probably start another one to go through the winter. And now we're going to move over into the freshwater report. So for our little freshwater synopsis this week, we did not get as many reports as we did last week. Not a big surprise with, sort of the big holidays happening right now. But what I have seen is really good trout fishing, especially in Wachusett Reservoir. Guys have been doing really well on shiners under a bobber, inflated shiners on the bottom, and guys doing well on Castmasters and crocodiles also. Out on the Cape, it's been a really good trout bite out there too. You get Peters Pond, Hamblin Pond, Spectacle, Sheep. Many others are also producing fish like Long and Little in Plymouth. And this has been an evening bite by most accounts, and a lot of guys have been doing really well on gold-colored artificials. So whether it's like a little gold-colored phoebe or a gold-colored jerkbait, guys have been doing really well on those. On the bass end of things, it's been a slow week by most accounts. A few guys have done well with smallmouth. I heard that Candlewood was fishing well. Talked to Dan Southwick. He said that it was a slow week for him. Had some big pickerel, had a couple of smallies, and was not hooking up with those big largies like he was last week. And I mean, that's really it. That's what I've been hearing on the freshwater end of things. Moving over into the regional reports now. I did not get a single report from Maine this week, but jumping over the border, I did get a little video here from Jim Jukes, so let's start with that.
Well, it's Tuesday, day after Christmas. Hope everybody had a great day, however you celebrate it. Well, I'm out in the woods and I'm in this spot. It's just absolutely spectacular. Places that most will never see. Anyways, that's the hunting side of things, but out in the woods, doing some fishing in some of these spots is pretty fantastic right now. If everybody gets out, there's still open water everywhere, no ice to be found, but all I can say is I've heard of guys getting some pike and some largemouth in some deeper areas. And the panfish is rolling along too. So for whatever it is, you know, take advantage of these beautiful days, because we'll be in deep freeze shortly, I hope, because I'm looking forward to getting out on some ice soon. Got my ice fishing gear all together yesterday. Everybody have a happy new year.
Heading down through the Boston metro area, didn't hear any reports from there. What little I have heard just sort of through the grapevine is that the trout fishing has been good in the stock ponds there, and bass fishing has been a little bit slow this week. Plymouth's been doing well on the trout end of things. Long Pond has been giving up some good sized fish. Jump over the canal, Peters has been giving up some good sized fish, and so has Sheep Pond. Guys fishing the Cape, though, have been doing well in just about all the stock ponds. Like we said in the freshwater part, gold has been a key color for a lot of guys fishing out there. Moving over to the saltwater end of things, all I'm hearing is stuff from the canal at this point. And, you know, it's kind of surprising. Still a few striped bass around the, around mid-canal from like the Herring Run out to Middlegate. Still hearing about a few fish up there, and even a few that are pushing over the slot limit size, which is just unprecedented in my experience. Also, still mackerel on the canal. Guys are getting those, throwing sabiki rigs and stuff down the east end, and just an amazing anomalous December so far in Massachusetts, and that's what I have for you guys in Massachusetts this week. Moving over into Rhode Island now, let's start things off with an East Bay report from TJ Kopecki.
Thanks, Steve. Hey guys, nice to be back again. Hope you all had a great Christmas, and you all got all the fishing stuff that you wanted, and I'm sure everybody's anxious to get out there and try all the new gear. It's been a good up and down week in the East Bay and some of the local ponds. Of course, Melville, I'm sure everybody sees that if you're from the local area here in Rhode Island and southeastern Mass. Melville's been good with trout and some salmon. My friend Jeff, who has been all over social media, and Dave's been talking about him too. He's been catching some nice trout there. Every single day we've had some really good weather to warm up the water really quick. Getting into the salt in the East Bay, my friend John has been fishing in the Seekonk River on his kayak, and he asked me not to reveal where he's been fishing, but he's been finding pockets of fish way up in the Seekonk River, striped bass, holdovers. So that's another thing you can be doing this time of year still, And like again, we've had great weather. It's been warm. We haven't had a freeze. For you guys who like that ice fishing, I've been looking in the long range forecast. I don't see any cold coming up long enough to get any ice for that. So I know things are kind of slow here right now, but it's the best time of the year now to get your gear and all your tackle cleaned up, ready for the upcoming season, and maybe get out and do some freshwater fishing because it's so good. There's some good opportunities for panfish in some of the local ponds here in Massachusetts. There's good opportunity for panfish in some of the ponds in Rhode Island. There's some good white perch fishing in the Warren Reservoir. There's some good white perch fishing in Brickyard Pond in Barrington. I haven't seen many people catching any largemouth, but I know they're there. If you work slow for them, you can get them. The chain pickerel are biting right now. So it looks like pretty much for our area right here in the East Bay, the freshwater is probably much the dominant, other than, up in the Connecticut River, more up towards like East Providence area for holdover striped bass. There is some holdover striped bass in the Providence River also. Don't count that out. If you can get on the Gano Street bridge on the power plant side, there's some good fishing on that side where the outflow is, and there's no restriction for you to be there too. You can stand on the shoreline. There's a little dock you can stand on to fish from there also. It's been 3 to 4 inch white paddle tails on a 3/4 or ½ ounce jig. Pretty much really slow off the bottom. It's finesse fishing, just like the finesse fishing would be in the freshwater right now. So I hope you all have a happy new year, and we'll see you next year. Tight lines.
So the biggest surprise of the week for me was getting a report getting multiple reports actually from guys fishing the beaches of Rhode Island and still finding striped bass. Now the story, the longer version of the story is that these fish are not there every day. So these are transient schools that are moving through, but there are some decent sized fish in the mix. Some of these fish are going up into the salt ponds. And, we heard of various sizes this week, from like 20 inches. The biggest one I heard of was 39 inches. These are all shore fish. And, as Mike Wade from Wachusett Outfitters was saying to me yesterday, is like, I think this probably happens more than we think it does, but it's been so nice out that more guys are out there trying, and lo and behold, they're catching some fish. So there's still stripers around, and all you have to do is put in some time, and you're probably going to cross paths with a few of them. Up in the salt ponds too, we're hearing about some fish being taken there. It did seem like the size went down a little bit overall. Seen a lot more smaller fish, but still some decent ones. And like we've said before, it can be a grind, so you got to put in some time to find these fish, but they are there, and it kind of makes you feel like you're stealing one from the season when you get one this late in December. So that's something else worth checking out. For the first week in a long time, the bottom fishing took a serious nosedive. What I heard from the head boats is that the water is still very dirty from last week's storm, and sea bass were tough to find, scup were hard to find, and the codfish were pretty much nowhere to be found. So everyone's kind of hoping that things regroup, but quite a few guys are not planning another trip until they hear that things have improved. So as of right now, we're kind of in a holding pattern with the offshore bite. For a little bit more on things that are happening in the central region of Rhode Island, let's toss it over now to Captain John Lee from JL Charters.
So the ground fishing around Point Judith, Block Island has been extremely slow. Ever since we had that big storm, and that truly was a big storm, I talked to a lobsterman friend of mine who had his whole trawls, 15-pot trawls, get completely spun up. I saw that happen a long time ago, right around Hurricane Bob. We had some big storms back then. This one kind of rivaled some of those as far as the size and strength of sea. Anyway, that storm really has thrown the cod fishing off, the sea bass fishing, the black fishing. They're all, it's really difficult. So the trips that have been made have been very slow. The cod fishing somewhat slow anyway, but it's abysmal. So hopefully when things mellow out, which they have in January, when the cod bunch up, in theory, we could have a few good cod fishing days in January. Anyway, that's all I've got. It's not the greatest fishing report, but it is a report. Happy New Year.
And then the only other thing that we're hearing about in Rhode Island waters right now is just really good trout and salmon fishing, just like we talked about last week. The bite has been really good and not a lot of guys are out there doing it. So these fish are unpressured and they're taking a variety of baits. You can get them on shiners and night crawlers. You can get them on rooster tails. Hair jigs have been especially effective. One of my favorite things that we talked about last week is that little 4-inch Ron Z. That thing crushes at this time of the year. You can just kind of fish it quick, you know, just kind of making it swim just under the surface, and they just can't resist that thing. But the trout fishing has been very, very good in Rhode Island, and that's what I have for you guys in the Ocean State this week. Crossing over into Connecticut, you know, we just keep getting these rainstorms, which is kicking these rivers up and keeping them high and dirty. So, you know, I know a few guys have snuck out into some of the smaller tributaries of the Connecticut River and are finding trout again, but we've got another big rainstorm coming in now, which could mess things up again. So more guys have been concentrating on the ponds, and we have been seeing pretty good results from the ponds. You can go on the Deep website, find the pond closest to you that was stocked the most recently, and you got a good chance of catching fish that way. On the saltwater ends of things, not really anybody's been out fishing out in the Sound that I have talked to. I would expect that there are still some striped bass out there. I mean, what we're seeing in Rhode Island has to cross the border somewhere, I would have to think. But up inside the rivers, you know, when the water isn't too crazy high, you can get into some striped bass action. You can get them on the Thames, you can get them on the Connecticut River tributaries, and of course you can get them on the Wachusett. I got this crazy photo from my buddy Robbie Taylor this week of the, you know, he was basically fishing for striped bass in the parking lot, as you can see here. And, you know, even with that high water, which is a dangerous thing to do, but they still got fish. So, Wachusett is still pumping out good numbers of fish. And you know, what we're hearing from the Connecticut River is extremely high water. Hopefully at some point it's going to come down a little bit, but there are fish to be had up in the coves. You can get some pike, lots of pickerel up there. There are large and smallmouth bass, striped bass up there sometimes, and the pan fishing can be unreal at this time of the year. So, you know, a lot of guys are on ice watch, but while you're waiting, you might as well be fishing. So, you know, throw a little tin boat in there or find some shore access, and you might be surprised by what you find. For a little bit more on what's going on in the Connecticut River region, let's toss it over now to Rowan Lytle.
So the water levels in the Connecticut River have dropped substantially. It's no longer in flood stage. It's definitely looking a lot more fishable, a lot cleaner, and with the mild weather here through the next week or so, it should be pretty darn good to fish. White perch and schoolies down around the mouth are still definitely a good game plan, as well as panfish and pike, and frankly just about everything with this mild weather and the better flows. Trout fishing should be picked up. Just about everything's better with these dropped, receded waters and unseasonably warm temps. So if you're going to get out and fish, just about the sky's the limit in the Connecticut River right now. Good luck, get out there, and Happy New Year. That's coming up real quick.
And now crossing the river and taking a west turn, let's stop off in Westbrook and check in with Matt Stone from Black Hall Outfitters.
What's up everyone, Matt here at Black Hall Outfitters in Westbrook with this week's fishing report. Some good holdover stripers being caught in the tidal creeks and rivers. If you've got a spot, it's certainly worth checking at this point into the winter, especially because it's been pretty warm so far. It's kind of enjoyable to still be out there. Maybe some colder weather coming up, but for now it's been pretty good fishing for these holdover fish. For freshwater, still open water everywhere, of course. You can troll small plugs. That's kind of my preferred method of covering water and just being outdoors in the winter. A lot of other options for freshwater too. You're going to get pickerel, pike, crappie, yellow perch are pretty good fishing all winter long as well. So it's still a lot to do out there despite it being winter. Great excuse to get outdoors. Trout fishing, as always, keep an eye on those stocking records too. Those are always a great target in winter. Hope everyone's enjoying your winter. Have a great week.
Out in the Western Sound, there are still some striped bass running along the beaches out there. Not too many guys fishing for them though, because most of the guys are up inside the Wachusett. For a little bit more on things going on in the Western Sound, let's toss it over now to Max Finch from Fisherman's World.
This past week was Christmas, and we've seen some nice fish caught in the Wachusett. Guys are getting them downriver and upriver on your favorite soft plastic on a lead head. We've had some winter herring starting to show up. You know, the bass are plump with them, so it means they're in the Sound. We got to wait for them to really flood our harbors and tidal rivers in the mouth. Noack River's been spotty, and the Noack Harbor's been spotty, but there's definitely herring out there to be had. And then the Saugatuck Reservoir, this is the last remaining week. It's been really good. We've seen a lot of nice walleye. We've seen some smallmouth mixed in, but it seems like live shiners is the ticket to go. Everyone have a safe and happy New Year. Good luck.
And that's what I have for you guys in the reports this week. Hopefully it's going to inspire you to get out there and catch that last fish of 2023. Lots of opportunity, good trout fishing. I think we're going to see a little uptick in the freshwater bass fishing as this cold front moves in after the weekend. And you know, there's a lot of striped bass opportunity out there, whether you want to try and get one from the canal, you want to hit the Rhode Island beaches, you want to do the salt ponds, or you want to hit one of the Connecticut rivers. There's lots of striped bass opportunities out there, and they should not be wasted because, I mean, the year is almost over, and you always want to end it on a high note. If you're not a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, I highly recommend you either come to a show or sign up online. This year we have lots of giveaways. If you sign up online, you're going to get a $20 SureHold gift card. That's cleaning products to cover marine, auto, and home. If you sign up at the show, you're going to get the gift card plus an iPop popper from Tsunami. It's the best $30 you can spend in fishing. It's $29.95 for the year. You're going to get 12 editions sent to your mailbox, and you're also going to get 26 digital editions sent to your inbox. And you're going to get digital access to all 3 editions. So if you sign up for the New England edition, you're going to get the paper New England editions in your mailbox, but you will have access to Long Island and New Jersey as well on our website. That's thefisherman.com. Check that out. A lot of free content on there. It'll give you a good idea of what you're going to get with your $30. If you're still not interested, after you check that out, at the very least, give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube and hit that little bell thing right there so you can get a notification every time we post something new. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.